everybody, and welcome to the Texas Rangers Minor League Roundup, brought to you today by Rangers Today. This is a new show that Jeff and I have wanted to. Actually, Jeff, you have talked about doing something like this since we were at Rocks, where we were at another place. And you have been talking about this, and we have finally got to a point where, let's say, we got to do this.
Yeah, we are. I think we kind of believe that we're the home for Rangers minor league news.
We've done bus leagues the whole time
at both the podcast, Rangers Today Baseball Podcast, and Rangers Today, the website. So it just made sense, and scheduling being what it was the last year, things didn't work out. But I was dead set on doing it this year, and this is our first episode. We're going to try to do it twice a month.
And let's explain what we're going to try to do. We are not just going. This is going to be. We're going to talk about minor leagues like we do in the bus league, guys. We're going to talk about what's hot, what's not, but we are going to have minor league guests. Now, I know we have minor leaguers on the big league, on the regular podcast, but we're going to have two guests every couple of weeks.
Yeah, this is strictly about the minor leagues, what's going on, what's working, what's not working, who's good, who's not good, and we're going to go from there. And I think the best place to start is to start at the top with AAA Round Rock. They are doing pretty well right now. They're
22 and 18.
They're 22 and 18. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're getting a lot of, considering all the roster turnover that they've had, they're doing a nice job keeping their heads above water in the Pacific Coast League East Division. They're 3.5 games out behind Sugar Land, which is a little bit surprising. Oklahoma City, who is always good because they're a Dodgers affiliate. You look at the team, and really it starts honest, I think, with Derek Hill, the veteran minor league player who he's 342 batting average. He's leading the team in home runs, 7. He's batting leadoff for him. He's just doing a really good job. And when you kind of look at injuries and everything, the Rangers have so many outfielders. He's not on the 40-man roster, but he's a guy that I know is getting the attention. He had such a nice spring. Also, you see Sam Huff. They're really, catcher might be their best position because Andrew Knapp is the veteran is just having a great start to the season. 5 home runs. He's batting .375.
Jeez.
And it really, if something were to happen to Andrew Kisner or Jonah Heim at the big league level, you wonder. Sam is on the 40-man. You'd think he's kind of the next guy in line.
It would seem that way.
But Andrew Knapp, a veteran guy, if they want to continue developing Sam Huff in the minor leagues, he looks like he'd be a really viable option. So, the team is scoring. Dustin Harris had a big hit for him last night as they beat Reno, who's a really good team with a lot of talent. It's the Diamondbacks affiliate. So some good things are happening right now in Round Rock. Not as good, however, as in what's going on in Frisco. Frisco is 21 and 12. Believe it or not, that's not good for first place. The Midland DA's affiliate is a game ahead of them. Frisco got rained out Wednesday night, have a doubleheader. A lot of doubleheaders this week in the minor leagues, especially on the Rangers side. But we'll touch on this in a minute with our first guest. But you kind of look around Frisco, very pitching centric, pitching heavy team. A rotation that includes Dane Acker, Emiliano Teodo, Josh Stephan, who's going to join us on the show a little bit later. Ben Anderson is having a nice little year. So starts there, but they're doing some good stuff offensively. They have Abby Ortiz, who's a really good-looking prospect.
Minor league player of the year last year.
For the Rangers, Josh Hatcher, who's a veteran guy, who's the reigning April player of the month in the Rangers system. And then Cody Freeman, our guest on the main show last year. And then there's Aaron Zavala last week. And Aaron Zavala, who had a rough 2023, and
he's coming back into form.
He's rebounding. A couple of things last year. He had the injury. It took some time to get back from that, but also he's really hard on himself, and I think that the Rangers needed to maybe tell him, hey, it's okay. But he's doing well. He's made some adjustments, worked out locally in the off season, and
I tell you, before he got hurt, though, he was the guy that, if you remember, I was the guy thinking that was this before they had ever drafted Wyatt Langford. He was the guy I thought might sneak up and compete for a left field job along with Carter or whoever, because he was really doing well before he got injured.
Well, his calling card is the plate discipline, commanding the strike zone, swinging at his pitches, which he got away from a little bit last year, but he's not anymore. It looks like he's back to where he is. He's bats leadoff. He's not known for his speed, but he can get you on base. So a lot of good things are happening down there, and Frisco and AAA, the top two affiliates. The Rangers aren't afraid of drawing from players from either. As you've seen throughout the year, that AAA roster has turned over a lot because a lot of them are in the major leagues or have been. But Frisco's got some talent too. You might want to see him go up to compete at the higher level. But it wouldn't surprise me if at some point somebody earns the opportunity and the Rangers need a player and they go get somebody from the Frisco roster.
Yep. I don't doubt it whatsoever. So, guys, we're about to get on. Our first guest is going to be Carlos Cardoza. He's the manager of Frisco. We'll get him on here in just a second. But what I love about this is so y'all kind of know where we're going with this. We may have two players, or we may have front office, scouting, minor league, in charge of the minor league system. This is going to be all minor leagues. And it doesn't mean we're just going to have two minor league players on every other week. I mean, we've got front office people that can really go over the organization. You got people like that, and we have access to all of them. This is going to be minor league centric, and I really love this idea.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, and
we get so close to these kids; they really become friends of ours. Getting to know them in spring training and getting to do this because they're not getting the media attention right now.
Yeah, and if you don't know the coaches, it's important to know them. They're the ones that are in charge of the development. They largely remain intact from last season, and nobody fits that mold better than Carlos Cardoza. So let's go ahead and get him in.
Carlos Cardoza coming up right after this. Okay, guys, and joining us right now from Amarillo, Texas, he's the manager of the Frisco Roughriders, the AA affiliate of the Texas Rangers. It's Carlos Cardoza. Carlos, what's going on, huh?
Cardoza.
I said it wrong.
Start over, Carlos.
Okay. Carlos Cardoza. All right.
Happens all the time.
John is terrible at pronouncing names.
I'm terrible.
It's not just you.
I'm a hick Texan.
He has trouble with Jeff Wilson.
I'm a hick Texan. Everything sounds wrong coming out of my mouth. All right. Okay, guys, and joining us right now from Amarillo, Texas, where the Frisco Roughriders are playing, it's AA manager Carlos Cardoza. Carlos, what's going on, bud?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing real well. It seems like the Frisco Roughriders are doing pretty well. What is keying this pretty good start you guys are off to?
There's a lot of things, but I think the main in the pitching. Yeah, we've had good pitching from the starting group and the reliever group, so that's kept us in a lot of games and put us in position to be able to win some games.
Yeah, the pitcher that we always like, he's been on our show a couple times, is Dane Acker, and I know he's back for a second season after kind of having some limitations last year. He pitched to a 2.54 ERA last year, but it seemed like the Rangers saw some things that he needed to improve with his particularly his control. It looks like that has been dialed in. What are you seeing from Dane?
Yeah, he's worked on some things in his delivery, but also, and I think the biggest thing is that he's healthy. He's completely healthy, and he's a year plus removed from his surgery. So the fastball's had life. He's had good extension on his pitches, and he's off to a good start.
A kid who was in minor league camp he was in major league camp, was Emiliano Teodo, and everybody knows him because he hits triple digits all the time. What have you? He might have had a little bit of a rough one to open the season, but it seems like he's been really good.
He has been really good, and he's not just overpowering guys or outstuffing guys. He's pitching, and we're very proud for him with the steps he's taken, but he wants to be challenged. He's handling his routines and everything that goes into his preparation at a very high level, and he's been fun to watch. But from our standpoint, it's not just about the stuff, it's how he's using it and the way he wants to be challenged in his throwing program and his size, the way he's asking for information, from John Goble and collaborating with the catchers. He's another guy that's been off to a really good start.
Everybody sees the 102 and then sees that he's not the biggest guy on the planet. I guess people maybe automatically think he's going to be a reliever, but I mean, he's looks like he's showing he can handle the workload as a starter. Is this something that he can do into the major leagues?
Well, Jeff John, I think he's checking a lot of boxes right now. I mean, he's throwing strikes, he's throwing competitive pitches. His misses are competitive. He's showing feel for 3 pitches. He's controlling the running game. He's fielding his position. He's competitive. He's preparing the right way. He's routine oriented. I don't see there's anything holding him back from starting. I mean, look what he's doing, at this level at the start, and I think it's only going to get better.
How many pitches does he have?
Right now he's using 3. Yeah,
okay.
He's primarily 3. The sinker, the slider, and then he's using the changeup as well.
100 mile per hour sinker.
That's okay. If you can locate that, you're going to be okay.
It's going to break some bats.
Yes.
Yeah. On the other side of the ball, the pitching's carrying you guys, but you're scoring enough runs. It seems like while you've maybe had some relievers in and out of the bullpen, it seems like the core group of hitters though has been intact, and I'm sure that's got to help. Yeah.
No, we have a good lineup, guys that put together good ABs and guys that control the zone really well. And as an organization, we value that, and we try to help develop that. And these guys are putting competitive ABs together, and they're doing it as a group, which is something we talk about from the big leagues down. And it's a tough lineup to navigate, multiple times through.
A guy that a lot of fans may not know is Josh Hatcher. He's the reigning minor league player of the month, a college kid, so he had some polish. You look at his numbers, it seems like he's doing exactly what you just described the organization wants from the hitters.
Yeah, no, and something that stood out about Hatch and has kind of driven his performance thus far is he's hammering fastballs, and when you're on time and can cover, fastballs at the top where so many pitchers go to these days, you're able to adjust.
Uh-oh. Hey, guys, real quick. Sorry about that.
What happened?
Just a quick thing. Sometimes I don't. You still there, right?
Still here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess just start over with that Hatcher answer about hammering. Yeah.
Yeah, with Hatch, something that's really been driving his performance and his success thus far is being able to handle fastballs. And he's been crushing fastballs, and when you're on top, when you're on time for that and can cover the fastballs at the top where so many pitchers go to these days, he's able to adjust to other stuff, and he's hitting line drives to all parts of the field, and he's hitting for some power as well. So we're very excited for him. And the start he's had, and also what he's done with his preparation, because he's playing multiple positions. I think he's 4 positions thus far, and DHing as well. And to be able to put together good ABs and contribute defensively as well, we're very happy with the start he's off to and how he's going about it.
I don't know if you heard that claps of thunder there.
Yeah, we're having some weather here.
I think we're getting the weather you guys had last night.
How about Aaron Zavala? I mean, this guy started out a little slow, but he's really come on lately. I mean, this is somebody that I think we all thought was might be competing if he hadn't got injured for a major league job. The way he started out as a pro. Tell us about Aaron and where he's at right now. He's really looking like the Aaron Zavala we knew coming out of college, and he's starting to put together good at bats, and he's really kind of been hot lately.
Yeah, coming out of college and the year he had in 22 as well, when he went to the fall league, and then he got hurt, and the time in rehab and the year last year and coming off, it was a rough year. But those are lessons that players go through, and it's better that they go through them in the minor leagues where there's room and more time for that. But Aaron's like you said, he's off to a good start. He's controlling the zone. He's putting good swings at the ball. He's staying within himself. He's using the whole field. We, never wavered in our belief of him as a leader, as a player, as a hitter. And he's showing, what he can do early on, and he's only going to get better.
Well, he was a Pac-12 Player of the Year. This guy knows how to hit. But one of his, everybody loves what what Evan Carter and Langford are doing in the big leagues. Aaron Zavala is cut from that mold. He controls the zone. He hits his pitches. I mean, he's good at that. That's what gets him.
He controls the zone, at a high level, and just all the qualities about him. Beyond just the physical stuff, the way this kid approaches the game, the way he approaches both sides of the ball, the type of leader he is. He really embodies everything that the organization wants and looks for in our players. And like I said, even with the success he's had, his best is way ahead of him, and it's just nice for him to be tapping into the things he can do early on, and to be healthy, and to have had a full camp to build up and take what he was doing in the offseason, into the start of this season.
All right. John, you got anything else?
Carlos, I want to talk about your career path to the Texas Rangers. It's kind of an amazing story. You didn't play pro ball. You played college ball, ended your career as a smaller college, but ended up a high school coach. Where was it? How did you end up coming into the organization? Did you approach them? Did they find you? You were in Decatur, Georgia, coaching high school, and I know that's where you came from.
Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but the Cliff Notes version. Started coaching high school. They asked me to help out with the program, and I did, and we sought more experienced coaches around the Atlanta area to come in and help our program. For our players to learn from, for our coaches to learn from, from the JV, from the middle school levels to the varsity levels. And a lot of those people we brought in had professional experiences. And at the end of the year, they encouraged me to find a way into professional baseball. So with their encouragement, that's I sought out opportunities, and it happened, at the winter meetings, a couple years back.
And you have gone, this is great, guys. If you like somebody that earns their way where they're going, you came in doing the low level, you did some DSL over in the Dominican, then you were down in the ACL, and you've come up through Hickory down east to AA. That's how everyone does in most careers. You progress up, and man, you might have some big league aspirations coming up one day to get up there on that big league staff.
The aspirations right now are to go Amarillo today after they beat us on Tuesday, and try to help these guys continue to contribute to our organization, and see why I said it at the start of camp. The success for our organization is going to be defined from what we do from here going forward after winning World Series championships. So this is a good place to be at, and the staff, everybody here at Frisco, we're excited for what we can do to help contribute to that.
And he's humble also. That's fantastic. And for us in the media, we can't thank you enough. For you guys that don't know, we go out. Carlos is always eager to help us and do that. So it's fun not only dealing with Carlos, just as the manager, willing to work with us, but also we really appreciate you stopping down and coming on with us, Carlos.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. And we're waiting for you in Frisco.
Hey, we'll be out there soon.
We're coming soon. We're going to do a show out there, I think. We haven't got that settled yet, but we might be doing one out there. Certainly going to have Carlos drop by.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right. That's Carlos Cardoza. Big thanks to Carlos Cardoza for joining us right there. Guys, now it's time to go down to the lower leagues. Of course, there's high A and low A. High A is the Hickory Crawdads. They are 12-22, 2-8 in their last 10. They got one bit of good news that has happened recently, and Cam Colley's come off the IL and he's back playing. We referenced that last week, but he's back.
That's always good. These guys are really struggling to score runs still, though. I talked to Ross Fenstermaker about that, and he said that early on it was bad, but now though they're starting to see some of the numbers that don't show up on MILB.com or other stat based websites. Kind of the underlying stuff, some of the advanced metrics that they're starting to like. And one of them is with Sebastian Walcott. You look at the batting average; it's 185. So you're like, but on base percentage is 302. So that's good. They'll judge things like chase rate and walk rate and WRC plus, things like that. And Walcott's been really good since really the first 2 weeks of the season.
18.
Yeah, and he's young. That's another thing to remember. But there are a lot of guys down there who are just struggling. They're not hitting for power. It's not good. The pitching is holding up okay. Of course, they have Winston Santos, who was the Rangers' April pitcher of the month. Honestly, he didn't win the MLB hands out awards for each league, and somehow he didn't get pitcher of the month. But 141 ERA now, 45 strikeouts and 11 walks in 32 innings, and you've seen with Jack Leiter, for instance, guys who are coming up from AAA, you got to be able to throw strikes. And if Winston's able to do that, I'm not saying he's going to be in the major leagues this year, but he's definitely going to get a promotion. Aiden Curry had a better outing last time out, so that's good. Jackson Kelly, who's a left-handed reliever, he was the Rangers April reliever of the month. So there's some arms that names that some veteran guys, some college guys like Skylar Hales, who hit a couple road bumps along the way there in the first month, but he's pitching better. So it's just you got to be patient. You got to recognize early in the season a lot of these guys are at new higher levels, playing against competition they never played against, and when that happens, there's bound to be some struggles. But the Rangers aren't necessarily, and in this case with player development, they're not really looking at wins and losses.
No,
they're just looking for development, and as long as these guys are making progress month to month or week to week, they're going to stay where they are.
Well, I predict Hickory will have a lot of front office people and stuff go out there right at the end of their season, if and when Kumar Rocker comes back off and probably makes it. I think their goal would be probably he's going to rehab, obviously, in Arizona and all of that. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery, but he's listed on that roster, and it'd be nice to see him maybe get a start before the end of the season.
Yeah, I think he will. He's in Arizona. He's throwing bullpen sessions. He's throwing all of his pitches. He hasn't made it into a game mode yet. There's several steps to take.
Right.
He's still a couple months away from being in a game, but
sure.
Ross Fenstermaker said he's never seen anybody quite like Kumar go through the rehab program as well as Kumar has. So that's promising. The Rangers spent a first pick on him, third overall in the 2022 draft. Broke down early last season, but
I think he's a steal.
Yeah, well,
I think he's a steal.
We'll see what happens. We saw him at spring training. He looked great. He looked fit. Had an opportunity to work out with the major league team there at one point late in camp. So he's definitely a big part of the future. It's just waiting for it to happen. But he is off a mound, and that's a promising development for him.
All right, let's go to Down East. That's Lowett. Down East Wood Ducks. They're 16-17 overall, 5-5 in their last 10 games. I call these the babies. Now, one guy that I've always wondered about at Down East, he's been on the IL, but I think he's getting ready to come back, is Isaac Tiger. Did I hear something about that?
Yeah, that's correct. He's he is in Arizona. He had some elbow inflammation. Nothing to worry about. Or I guess you always worry, but nothing that required surgery or the Rangers thought was a major deal. They shut him down. They took it slow with him. But he is getting back to the point where he's going to be in games soon, probably another couple weeks. He'll be around. And then following him will be Jose Corniel, who's in Arizona. He will probably go. He could open at Frisco. He's on the Frisco roster now. He did so well in big league spring training.
Maybe do a rehab down there.
But Isaac Tiger,
I've got my story about him.
You've got your story, but he throws hard. 7th round pick. I think the Rangers really feel like they struck on something with him. But again, when he comes back, it's going to be just a few innings. They're going to limit the wear and tear as much as they can. But once you see it, it's
It's
Going
impressive.
to be pretty impressive. And
let me tell you a recap real quick. We're in Arizona. We're watching. I've told you over and over, you got to go to Arizona, go to spring training. Go back to those minor leagues. They have games going on in these minor league games back there. I'm standing next to Chris Young. I'm watching something over there, and I hear pop back behind me. Nobody's watching this game. I just go walking over behind home plate. They've got a gun on him. He's playing against whoever. It's an inter-squad game, by the way, that they were playing. 98. 99. Then he throws this wipeout slider and he strikes out two guys. I'm like, who is this guy? His name's Tiger. I go back to Chris Young and I go, who is this kid Tiger? And he just praised him and said, oh, man, we like him, this and that. So he was all right, I want to watch this guy because it looked easy the way he was popping 98, 99. I saw it on the gun myself.
Yeah. I mean,
he's good.
It's a big arm. You wonder why did it slide to the 7th round? Maybe there are some things that scouts are concerned about, and maybe health is one of them. But the Rangers are trying to be very proactive and cautious with this kid's arm.
All right, Down East, who are we looking at there now doing anything? Or
it's the same group of characters. It's Jesus Lopez, the catcher. He's still leading them in hitting. But it's a good catching group. Julian Brock, who's not off to a great start with the bat, but he's a veteran defensive guy. Glider Figueiredo hit another homer. He's got 8 home runs. He's got an 828 OPS. I think at some point he's going to be due for a promotion because
which will help.
I'm not sure there's a lot more he can do down there. But there are, again, it's a young group, kind of similar to Hickory, although these guys are probably down east and graduated to Hickory. These guys are graduating from the Arizona Complex League. Some of them are teenagers facing guys who are 22, 23, have pitched in college. So it takes a while for them to catch up, especially at the bats. You'll go see and look at pitching stats in the Carolina League that has always been a pitcher-friendly league. But you can look at the stats of the Down East group, and you see Brian Mendoza, the 2.31 ERA, William Bormy, the 2.08 ERA, Ryan Lobos, who got moved up to Hickory, he had a 1.53 ERA there. So Colton Curtis is an interesting guy, 1.44 ERA. He's not unlike Josh Stephan in that he wasn't drafted. He signed out of high school rather than going to the college. He didn't pitch real well in the fall league last year, but pretty clear that he's made some adjustments and is on his way. He's that 1.44 ERA, 25 innings, pretty hard to ignore. So kind of look toward the arms there and Down East, kind of monitor how they'll do. They won't have a heavy workload, and you can think about Brock Porter last year, probably get these guys into the 80-100 range as far as innings, something to build on for the next year.
A lot of piggybacking down at
a lot of starters there. So if you see a guy who pitches 4 innings in relief, that doesn't mean he's a long reliever. It means they're just piggybacking their starters. So, but again, with this level, there are a lot of ups and downs depending on who's on the roster and whatnot. But they also have a lot of weather to deal with in North Carolina. Both Hickory and Down East are playing doubleheaders this week.
Arizona Complex League, they're going.
They are going. Yeah, they haven't played 10 games yet. They've played 9 games. They're 4-5. They're going to be position player heavy in that league. We talked about it last week on our main show.
Wyatt Langford might be playing for them.
Yeah, Wyatt Langford's on his way today. He was packing his bags Wednesday night at Globe Life Field. He's going down there to finish off his rehab from a right hamstring strain. He's been doing a lot of stuff with the big league club, and I think now they feel like it's time for him to get somewhere, start getting some at bats, do some lives, hop in some bullpens. He hasn't run bases yet. That's something he thinks he'll do next week. And once you clear that hurdle, that's the last hurdle.
Yep.
Then you get put back into games, and he thinks that this might be his rehab assignment, rather than sending him to an affiliate.
Yeah.
And some of that might have to do with scheduling. The Rangers are out of town next week.
Well, they need him.
I believe that Round Rock will be out of town. Frisco will be home, but those are usually where you send your guys to rehab, and they just think he's going to get some good attention there in Arizona, and you're not going to have any weather issues in Arizona this time of year, so
it's going to be hot.
So looking forward to that. But Yeremy Cabrera continues to hit really, really well for this team. So a lot of international guys to get to know who spent last summer in the Dominican Summer League.
When do they start?
They're starting in June.
Okay.
They're having their extended spring program right now, getting ready for games. So
we'll bring you all those too. The stats you can get, they're a little harder to get stats, but we know how to get them. And we'll let you know what's going on. There's usually two teams in ACL and DSL, right?
The Rangers just have one ACL team. They will have two DSL teams.
A lot of the young international
and they split like the DSL teams instead of loading up just one team with all the good players. They try to split them up, and so many players down there, and try to split them up and see what's what. But right. You won't see two studs on the same team in all likelihood,
unless you got 4 studs and then 2 might be on the same
there
team.
You go.
And you're hoping maybe you have 3 studs on each team, right? So that's what you're looking for. But hey, a lot of good talent comes out of that Dominican down there, or the international. The Dominican Summer League for those international players. Yep. All right, guys. So we're going to go to our second guest right now. We're going to go to Josh Stephan, who's going to join us. Like I said, this is going to be a great show. We're going to let Josh come in just a second. We'll take it out after that. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's been good. And
I like
but
this.
Yeah, let's get to Josh. Okay. I may have to step away. During spring training, I got a ticket for having my phone in my hand. I was trying to call up directions to my Airbnb because I'd missed the turn the night before, and was not aware that was a law in Arizona. I doubt that ignorance is going to do much for me, but I'm going to talk to the judge about the case.
You're going to fight it, right?
And I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to say, look, you're
going to plead ignorance,
help a brother out. And so I may have to step away during the interview, and if that happens, Josh. And John can talk it out, but let's go ahead and get Josh in here.
Josh Stephan, right after this. All right, guys, and joining us right now, also from Amarillo, Texas, we just had on his manager. It's right-handed pitcher Josh Stephan, who is a local boy from Grand Prairie, Texas. Josh, what's up, buddy?
How are you doing?
Second visit with us, but you're the first visitor on the Texas Rangers Minor League Roundup, which is the new podcast. We appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, go ahead and put that on your resume. Yeah. hey. So it's the last time you were on. You had been at Hickory and were pitching your tail off. You get called up the next week, make your AA debut, and then that was it. You had a little back issue. What was that like dealing with that? As someone with back problems, I think I know where you're going with this.
I mean, in that moment, there was a lot of questions regarding like what it actually was, because our back specialist with the Rangers was on vacation or something like that, so we couldn't really get in contact with him. So there was like a 4 or 5 day like lag period where it was like trying to figure out what it was, and we were doing everything we could to make you feel better. Well, at first, they thought it was a L4, L5 pars fracture on both sides, but ended up being L5 left side pars fracture. So I was dealing with that, and like during this time, we thought it would be okay if we just take like a week off and then try and do a build up of like getting back in bullpens. And I was actually here when I threw my first bullpen back, and I was feeling good, still felt it a little bit. I was on a heavy amount of meds, but I was like 94, 95 in a bullpen, and I'm not even that in game, so I was a little confused. But, during the whole rehab process after that, when I got shut down, it was confusing, but there were times where I was feeling really good, and I'm like, okay, I don't even need to do this. Like, let's just roll with the punches. I'm feeling good, get me back out there. But then it was just like, okay, you have to understand that there's like a process that goes with it. Like you got shut down for a month and you got to kind of build back up. So there was a lot of stuff that I had to check the boxes for, but it was a frustrating time, but I think overall it was well worth it.
All right. Well, that's behind you. You're back now. You're pitching well. What have you liked so far about your performances?
I mean, just the fact that, obviously I still feel a little bit, but it's not like an incredible immense amount of pain. Like obviously it's still going to be there for the way Dr. Evans explained, it's going to be there for the rest of my life. The pars fracture, so just dealing with it and learn how to manage it. But I mean, just about performance standpoint, like, the velo's been going up a little bit, and with the workload standpoint, like, um, my workload's been getting higher, been throwing more pitches each game, but it's been getting better and better every game. So I think that's something to look forward to performance wise. But I mean, all of my stuff is getting back to what it was, so can't really complain in that regard.
Have you changed anything with your arsenal? I mean, it was working so well for you last year.
I mean, I think my slider when I first came back in game, it wasn't the same as it was last year. It wasn't as dominant. It wasn't the same pitch shape. I wasn't getting swing and misses like I was on it last year. But we've been tinkering with it a little bit, and we finally got it back to kind of what it was. It was pretty close in this last start. That it was more sweepy. Um, Before it was kind of just like a gyro slider, wouldn't do too much. But then we kind of changed the grip a little bit, and it's gotten back to that like 0-13. But then I'll have a couple that have like a little bit more depth than I'd like. So I was trying to find that sweet spot of like what I actually want.
You
But
feel like a pitcher again, though. You're not.
oh yeah,
You're not in Arizona or wherever you were doing your rehab.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely nice to get back into a competitive environment and compete with all your guys. It's been fun.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of good starting pitching in that Frisco rotation. Dane Acker might be the more well known name along with yourself, but Ben Anderson's doing well. Emiliano Teodo, our good buddy Ryan Garcia. What's it like with that group?
Man, it's pretty fun. Obviously, Teodo, he's a clown, but we're all tremendous and like competitors, and we all get our stuff done. And it's just you want to be better than everybody else, but at the same time, with this group, it's like you want to be better, but at the same time, you just want to piggyback off of what they did the day before. So I think now that I'm on a Tuesday schedule, like, and we're running a 7 day, like, I just want to start the week off hot, set the tone, and help them, have success later on in the week.
All right, we got to stop. I got to do this, Dame. Just,
Yeah.
hello.
Okay, guys, with slight technical difficulty there. Jeff had to jump off. He's got a meeting in to go to real quick. We'll finish this up with Josh out there in Amarillo. Josh, so far this season, how have you felt? What do you feel this season so far? You get a little bit of a ERA, but that could be one bad outing, 5 point whatever. But where do you feel? It's more about how you feel, how your pitches are. You locating what you want. How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me right now is just getting back into the swing of things, getting in that competitive mindset of, just going out there and trying to do the best you can, getting the deepest games as possible. But, physically, I mean, I've been really, I say managing. It's not been that bad, but just the whole back thing, like it's been holding up well. It's been holding its own, but it's been a lot of fun. Really getting back out here and competing. It's been 8-9 months since I've been able to do that, so felt like it got taken away from me a little bit. But it's been a lot of fun. Just I know the numbers don't really reflect it well, but I feel like I'm confident in everything I'm throwing, and it's just trying to get back into the swing of things.
So tell us where your velo is. Are you mid 90s? Is that what you're hitting on the field, or where you at?
Yeah, I think in the start I had yesterday, I was sitting 93, I believe. I got up to like 95, I think.
On a couple pitches. So
Yes, sir.
remind us again your arsenal. How many pitches are you throwing?
5. I'll throw the four seam, the cutter, the sinker, change up, and the slider.
So what do you feel most confident in? Do you got like 3 or 4 you're really confident in, or is there like I have no doubt I can get these two over, or what's your most confident?
Yeah, I think from a confidence standpoint, I think the slider is probably my most confident pitch. I know it hasn't been the greatest, my first couple starts, but we're really starting to get it back dialed in, and I can feel like I can throw it in any count. 2-0, 3-0. I feel like I can throw it for a strike, keep the hitters on their toes, keep the playing field level. Um, you know, but obviously my changeup's always been there. It's always been a good pitch for me, but obviously, and it's like a staple starting pitcher has to have a good fastball, and I feel like confidence wise, I can throw it anywhere, any count. So, yeah.
Well, being a local guy, it's got to be nice. Are you getting mom and dad out there to watch you pitch? I mean,
Oh yeah,
you're from Grand Prairie, so it's pretty close. That's not that bad a drive if they come out and see you.
yeah, yeah. They come out here every start. I've had in my first start, I probably had 10, 15 people. And obviously, my July 4th start last year was a little bit different. All my friends and family wanted to come out, so there's probably 60, 75 people there. But I've kind of turned it down a little bit, take it easy on the Frisco GM. Um, but yeah, I've had in my first start here this year, there's probably 15 or so. But yeah, I get my parents out here for every start.
Still high school buddies and stuff wanting to come see you, or
Oh yeah, yeah,
anybody
they're all.
catching you on the road? Now you may have buddies in college or something. Do you catch
Yeah.
anybody on the road that wants to come see you?
Not on the road as much, but definitely like when summer starts coming around, I think all my buddies are starting to come home from playing college baseball, and I got a buddy down at A&M that he said he's going to make it out to every start, so it'll be good to have them out there.
That's always good to have them there. So, we talked last time. You're a hunter. You're a fisherman. We were talking off air a while ago. You hadn't got to fish much, but hunting, you went out and you said you didn't get anything this year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, went hunting this year. Had that big seven that I was talking about. He got shot, I believe, and then we had a young 10 that I don't know if he was just hiding out after season started coming around, but I ended up not shooting anything. Not that big of a deal, but yeah.
Do you get to dove hunt? You and I were talking about that. I mean, that's kind of the end of y'all's season. Do you get a chance to get out? Do you dove hunt much?
I didn't last season, just because as soon as the season ended, well, I say the season ended, but whenever things happened with me and I went to rehab, I was in Arizona, so I didn't have any of my
Yeah.
guns, so I didn't get to dove hunt last year too much. But hopefully this season's gonna be
Okay,
a lot
so
of
I'm
it.
going to give you my recipe. This is for all y'all that are watching. If you've ever, everybody knows how you eat dove. If you've never done it, let me just tell you, dove is very tasty. It's just a breast. That's basically all there is to eat. But I found a new recipe for people to do. There's a little heart in there. You can pull that heart out. For our mini kill, you have to get a bunch of them because there's not a lot of meat on a dove. But take a dove breast, obviously, wrap it in the jalapeno and bacon and grill it. You and I have done that. That's great. Take those hearts, put them in a little piece of tinfoil and put some butter and some garlic on it and just put them on the fire and let them, boy, you're like popping a little, it's great. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they're really good. So that's your new recipe.
All
Listen,
right.
Josh, we really appreciate you coming out here and jumping on with us. You guys are busy. I know you pitched last night, or no, not before last, right? You
Yes, sir.
pitched Tuesday night. So today's Thursday for those that don't know. But anyway, we really appreciate you going on. Sorry, Jeff had to pop out real quick, but we've had you on the big show. Want to get you back out there. We plan on getting out to Frisco to see it. See you a couple times. We'll definitely come by and say hi. But thanks again, buddy, for coming on.
Yes, sir. Of course, I appreciate you.
That's Josh Stephan joining us from Amarillo. Josh, until we see you next time, have a good one, buddy.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
All right, big thanks to Josh Stephan for joining us. Did you win? You had to bop away. Did you win your case?
I did not win my case. I'll be paying the fine a little bit later on. If I pay today, I save $20. So that's quite a bargain. But they're very nice, very understanding, and not understanding enough.
Not understanding
enough.
Guys, listen, this has been the first Texas Rangers Minor League Roundup. It was a great show. The big thanks to Carlos and Josh for joining us. This is going to be a good thing, guys. Every couple of weeks, going to have hope to have 2 of these out a month. Get players on, front office, all of that. This has been a lot of fun. Big reminder, guys, down below, hit that subscribe button, rangerstoday.com. We cover you from all the way down to the Dominican, all the way up to the big leagues. I mean, this goes as low as the minor leagues go, all the way up to the top. We talk to front office players, all of that. We do it all year long, 365 days a year. Well, a couple of days you take off to take care of them.
Yeah.
So that's a lie, but at least 360 days a year. How about that? I'll try to put that on there. But this is daily coverage that we're doing. TR Sullivan's putting out stuff out there that's been fantastic. Obviously, go to the YouTube channel, hit that. And are you doing your $48 thing?
Yeah, in honor of this debut show, if you If you want to get annual subscription to Rangers Today, it's normally $60. Send me an email, jeff@rangerstoday.com. We'll get you on board for $48.
This has been fun. We're going to do this in a couple of weeks. Big League show is going to be coming out too, guys. We're going to do our regular show with our guest that's coming on later today. Guys, it's fun as always. Until we see you again, or until next time, for Jeff Wilson, I'm John Moore, and we will see you at the